there are many points that talk about worship on the front line. I'll start with heaven, because before Isaiah even began to receive the words from the Lord, or even the cleansing from the word of the Lord, he witnessed something happening in heaven. He witnessed the angels singing and shouting one to another, "Holy is the Lord. The whole earth is full of his glory." This was happening before anything was revealed. So we can just start there. But then let's go to us on earth. As the people came out of Egypt, Miriam begins to sing what I call the first prophetic song, the first spontaneous song. She begins to glorify God for the things that just happened. You know, "I will sing to the Lord. He has triumphed gloriously. He's a man of war. The horse and the rider have been thrown into the sea." But then also, let's move even farther. Let's talk about Chronicles, where Jehoshaphat is going to battle. And in a response to the prophetic word of the Lord, he began to lead out with sound. He didn't say, "We're going to stick the warriors in the front just in case there's a battle going on and we have to fight somebody and kill the enemy." No, the word was, "Go out there and see what the Lord will do." So right there in the front of everything, here's Jehoshaphat leading out with worship, with sound, with praise in response to the word of the Lord. Where do we see this? Where do we see another example of this? In the book of Revelation. When the Lord brings forth all of these words and judgments, what starts to happen in heaven? Singing starts to happen in heaven. Singing starts to precede it, and also singing ends it. I believe that it's not just worshipers on the front line. I believe that worship is surrounding everything. It's heavenly, it's continual. It's not dependent on whether something comes to manifestation or doesn't come to manifestation. It stands on its own. It's eternal. It's moving. It is alive. And I believe David had this revelation when they brought the ark back. That's an entirely different teaching, but I'll only touch on this part. When they bring the ark back to Jerusalem the correct way, David says the only way that we can steward the presence of God correctly, beyond sacrifices, beyond just the priestly duties, is to have worship happening around the ark of God, the presence of God, the representation of a living God, is to worship 24 hours a day. Why didn't he have someone shouting and preaching 24 hours a day? Why didn't he have the warriors declaring victory around it 24 hours a day? No, it was music. It was singing. It was the demonstration of creative expression before the Lord. I always like to point out, it's hard for people to believe that the sound, not just worship as obedience, not just worship as listening and following suit with what he says, because that is worship as well. It's probably a better expression of what the actual word worship means. But the sound of worship is way more important than we give credit here on earth. Way more important. I think we have really given it a low place when it comes to our service to God.